Now if you're saving your model and you go and press Control S, you'll get this pop-up that says, do you want to save the document or the tool? So far I've only talked to you about saving the tool, or really only about what tools are. But at this point we really need to talk about what a document is and what a tool is. Essentially, a document is this entire space right here. It is what your 3D model is inside of. You can pull it outside of the document space, center it in the document space, but this is the document, and what I move around inside of it is the 3D object, or the tool. All of these are tools. You control the tools in the tool palette. All of these options relate to the tool that you have selected. If I go in and select a sphere 3D, I have different options. If I go in and I select snake hook, say switch, I've got even more different options. Control N to clear, select the 3D model, draw it on the canvas, go into edit mode to get back to where I was. You control the document by the document palette. So let's throw this off to the side. And see what kind of trouble we can get into here. First thing to note though, Control S, if you do it, make sure you say save the tool. If you save the document, you will no longer have a 3D model. Documents do not save with 3D information. So make sure you say save the tool, and make sure that you are saving it as a ZTL. Documents are saved as ZBR. So that's not what we want. Okay, now opening documents. Note it's giving me a warning before I open another one. Do I want to save the changes? I'm going to just hit cancel. This will allow you to load in different documents. For example, artists like Meets-Meyer. In fact, Meets-Meyer's artwork from several years ago took a huge advantage of documents. But you would have several of these stored in some place and with some kind of layout, either for presentation or, in Meets-Meyer's case, for just beautiful artwork. And if you then save this document, save as, let's call this just delete, and let me go new document. That's cleared it, but now I can go open this one I just deleted, and you can see the 3D, the shapes that are there. But they're not 3D. I can't click and rotate. If I click, it's just going to draw the 3D model onto the canvas. Now I can just press Control N and clear those and work from there. You're not going to be using these a lot in the beginning, getting into ZBrush. I'm just wanting you to be aware that this document palette is here. Almost all of your time you will be in the tool palette, and you will be simply sculpting. Now, a couple of controls relating to the documents. The controls right here, back, border, range, center, and rate. Those control the background gradient of your canvas. And the background gradient is going to allow us to kind of, just store a different look to it. We can say change the color by clicking in the back and navigating to some color that we want. I'm going to just go back to its default. You can change the border colors. You just have to set a color and then click it. Notice how it's changing the color back there. Most of the time, not going to be using that. You can change the range. So get rid of the gradient by setting it to 0. or create a sharp contrast by setting range to 1. You can increase the level, the eye line for where that gradient happens, or decrease it with center. Set it right at 50. Then the gradient starts to sweep through there. And then rate. So how fast does it change? Now the size of the document, which is something that you will be getting into when we get to the texturing part, is controlled in this section right here. So you can control the individual components, height and width, or you can just do global modifications like half or double. Anytime you change the width and height, it's going to drop or convert whatever you have on the canvas to 2.5D. And it will warn you. So let's say that I want to be using ZAppLink and I want to increase my document size. Let's just say I double it. It says this is not undoable. We hit yes. And now that model is 2.5D. So I have to actually redraw the 3D on there, or make sure that I remove the model beforehand. But now the document is 1920 by 1440. But you'll see that as I'm working in it, it's a lot slower than it was at its normal size. So when you are sculpting, you will not really be adjusting this. You're just going to keep it at its default size. Let's not save changes. Of 960 by 720, and that's the size that ZBrush is optimized to handle. So that's a quick little introduction to the document palette, but mostly it's to tell you that when you save a model, if you press Ctrl S, you save the tool, not the document.